this is Sabina at Cross Keys Crafts with a new challenge I set myself. I set in November after my October 28 cards and 28 days Christmas card challenge that I wasn't going to do a daily challenge again so soon. But I saw Christine Stokes' video yesterday and she posted an advent calendar that she bought from I think it's a Swedish company, Pan, and it has got dies in it. So I thought, oh, that's really nice. And I went into the web page and I saw the price of the advent calendar. And I could not believe how expensive it was. And then I thought, well, I've got so many dies in my stash that I have only used once, if only. Some of them I haven't used at all yet. It's one of those things, you see a video and you think, oh, you really, really need this die. And then you buy it and then you forget all about it. So I thought I'll make my own advent calendar with dies. I'm sure I can get together 25 dies in my stash that I will use and make cards in the following 25 days, or 24 because today is already the 2nd of December. And my inspiration for you is to have a look through your stash, see what you have got. If it's not dies, you might have stamps or stencils or other craft supplies that you haven't used yet. And what I've done, I have got this, I'm not even sure what it's called in English, and I have just folded pieces of paper and put the dies I want to use just in between, so I can just flick this through. I've only filled it for the first week so far because I wanted to put this video on quickly, and I'm going to pick one out every day and I'm going to make something with these. So because it's already the 2nd of December, I'm going to use the first two, and I did cheat a bit and made sure they sort of would go together. And this is one I bought recently that was from Printable Haven. It was only £1, but I didn't read the descriptions properly. I thought it would be slightly bigger, but I quite like it. It's got some sort of foliage, but it's in a frame. And I did cheat, as I said, because I had a look in my stash what would go with this. And I found these two chicks that came free with an order from China, probably AliExpress. And yeah, I'm going to have a look how I use these together. I do not want to film the whole process. On the contrary, these videos, I would like to keep them short. I would like to involve a tip or trick with every single card rather than showing you the whole process. So I'm going to think about what I do with these. I'm going to create the card and then I'll come back and talk you through what I have done to finish this card. Yeah, a challenge for me as well, trying to find time every day in December with so much going on in my pub. But yeah, I'm looking forward to using all my dies. And as I said, I hope it's inspiration for you to have a look through your stash. So I'll see you soon with what I made with this card. Okay, I'm back to show you the finished card with my two dies. I said cards before, I wanted to use my cards, now it's the dies I have picked for the 1st and the 2nd of December, which were these two, and I had a double of these chicks. What I decided to do is to cut the frame here, the foliage frame, from hammered cardstock, but to reinsert it, which is actually a good idea because it is very fine. And I've got a few tips along the way. One is, if you've got a very fine die and it doesn't cut through properly, put this underneath the cardstock. This is just some packaging. Sometimes you can use some silicone as well, because that gives it a bit of a cushion and that helps it to press the die into the cardstock, and then it's really, really easy to get this out. A bit of muck on here. And then the other tip is, you can see these two chicks actually face the same way, but I wanted them to face each other. So what I did after cutting out is I turned one upside down and I used my bone folder to basically smoothen out the edges. And that worked okay, but this frame actually left a bit of a rim here. So I decided to put these through an embossing folder, which is a very good method of getting rid of some texture from dies that you don't want to. And because I have chosen this pattern cardstock in the back that has got little hearts on it, this by the way is from a Paper Craft Society box, I just chose an embossing folder that's got hearts in it. So these two chicks have got some hearts embossed on them, which I think is really, really nice. So, and I just glued this down with my collal glue. This is an almost 4x6 card. It's a bit shorter because I cut it from an A4 sheet. Again, hammered cardstock at the bottom. I will insert a panel inside to write on because it's not easy to write on hammered cardstock. And as I said, I just matted this with a pattern cardstock and then another layer on the top. And I think this is quite cute. I'll probably keep this for Easter, but I haven't added a sentiment yet because I don't know whether I'll add an English sentiment or maybe a German one. So, and that's my finished card for my first 2 days. I hope you like this. And if you did, you might want to subscribe to see what I'm coming up with in the next 23 days of my homemade advent calendar, the one where I insert my own dies that I haven't used much into my calendar, and I'll just pick one out every day and start using my stash. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Oops, I forgot to mention that if you have got very fine dies like these, it's really tricky to get glue on the back, and I just use this stick and spray. And I don't do this on my table because it does spray a lot and you don't want any residue anywhere on your craft table. So I've got an old shoebox and I just spray this on, and then this glues down very fine die cuts really, really neatly. And that's worth having rather than trying to adhere other glue. What you could also do is, you've got liquid glue, just put a bit on the side on the surface and use a sponge and dab that onto the fine detailed die, and then this also can adhere it nicely without getting messy.